The room was alive with tension. Bulging muscles, intimidating glares, and the kind of raw power that makes most people take a step back. Everyone in the gym, the arena, or the open street challenge was certain they knew who the strongest person in the room was. You could almost hear the whispers. He's unstoppable. He's massive. Nobody can touch him. And then, without a word, a smaller figure enters. Calm, focused, radiating a quiet intensity that immediately cuts through the bravado in the air. This is Bruce Lee, not the biggest, not the bulkiest, just Bruce Lee with a look that says, "I see everything and I'm ready." The larger fighters laugh, flexing their muscles, cracking their knuckles, acting like they're untouchable. They've never faced someone like him before, and they have no idea what's about to happen. The audience, if there is one, leans forward instinctively. Something is different about this man. You can feel it in the air, an invisible tension that raises goosebumps. Bruce doesn't speak. He doesn't need to. Every motion, every blink, every subtle shift in stance tells the story of a man who has mastered not just his body, but his mind. The muscle-bound giants are all relying on raw strength, on size, on intimidation. And yet, the smallest details, the slight bend in Bruce's knees, the measured positioning of his hands, show the kind of functional strength that isn't just physical. It's intelligent, controlled, deadly efficient. And here's the part that hooks you mentally. No one in the room knows the real test is about to begin. People think strength is measured by size, by how loud you can roar or how hard you can punch. But Bruce is about to prove something the world struggles to understand. That functional strength, the kind that comes from speed, precision, balance, and mental focus, can crush raw muscle in real combat. As the giants taunt him, as they flex and laugh, Bruce simply breathes. Calm, centered, ready. And in that silence, you feel it. The mental trap snapping into place. You, the audience, are drawn in emotionally and mentally, wondering, how is this small man going to take on these monsters? And will he really show the world what functional strength is capable of? Engagement hook for audience. Have you ever underestimated someone because of their size or appearance? Comment yes if you've been shocked by someone's hidden strength. The giants circle him, their eyes scanning, muscles tense, ready to explode. One of them steps forward, cracking his knuckles loudly, as if the sound itself could intimidate. The air is heavy with anticipation. Everyone expects a fight fueled by brute force, punches, slams, chaos. That's what raw muscle promises. That's what the world believes strength is. But Bruce doesn't react with aggression. He doesn't rush. He doesn't shout. He stands still, calm, almost serene, and in that stillness lies the first lesson. Strength isn't about who moves first or hits the hardest. It's about control, timing, precision. Every muscle, every nerve, perfectly synchronized with his mind. The first giant lunges, thinking speed will win him the fight. But Bruce steps lightly, almost imperceptibly to the side. His movement is so smooth, so calculated, that it looks like he barely moved at all. And yet, in that tiny shift, the opponent loses balance, momentum, and control. The audience gasps. Some whisper, "How did he just do that?" The giants are confused. This isn't supposed to happen. They used a strength-overpowering skill, but not here, not now. Bruce's eyes scan constantly, reading intentions before they're acted on. One by one, his opponents throw punches, kicks, and aggressive attacks, and one by one, Bruce neutralizes them. Not with sheer force, but with perfect technique. He uses their energy against them. Every move is efficient, economical, and devastatingly effective. No wasted effort, no overexertion, just functional strength in its purest form. Human explanation/narration. Look closely. This isn't about brute force. Bruce moves like water, flowing, adapting, and striking only when the moment is right. Raw muscle is loud and chaotic. Functional strength is quiet, deadly, and smart. Audience question/engagement. If you were in this fight, would you rely on raw power or strategy and skill? Comment below. I want to know what you would do in Bruce's shoes. By the end of this round, the Giants are shaken. Their confidence is cracked. They underestimated him, and so did everyone watching. Because functional strength doesn't just beat muscle. It forces respect, mental awe, and disbelief. The real question now isn't just who is stronger physically. It's who is smarter, who has mastered the art of controlled, efficient power. And Bruce Lee is about to answer that question in a way no one will ever forget. The room, or arena, or street, is silent for a moment, yet the tension is palpable, like the air before a storm. Every spectator leans forward, their eyes glued to the unfolding spectacle. The muscle-bound opponents are furious now. Their faces red, veins bulging. They had assumed size and power-guaranteed victory. They had thought that one punch from them would end it. But here stands Bruce Lee, calm, collected, eyes sharp, body relaxed, but every inch of him ready. One of the larger men steps closer. He flexes, raises his fists, and growls. Think you can take me? His muscles ripple with intimidation, every fiber screaming dominance. But Bruce doesn't flinch. He doesn't move too fast, doesn't shout, doesn't challenge. He simply breathes, steady, even observing. And that simple act is powerful. In that pause, you feel it mentally, the quiet confidence of someone who has mastered himself completely. This is the first lesson most people never see coming. Muscle can intimidate, but it can't think. Strength without control is noise. Functional strength is intelligence. Bruce reads the man's balance, his tendencies, the angle of his shoulders, the weight distribution in his legs. Every detail is noted. Every possible move anticipated. The giant swings. He throws everything into it, raw force unleashed in a single punch. But Bruce doesn't react with equal aggression. Instead, he shifts subtly, almost imperceptibly. One step to the side, a slight bend, and the punch meets only air. The attacker's own momentum sends him slightly off balance. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Phones lift, capturing every second. The man expected fear. He expected a clash of brute force. But Bruce? He's calm, in control, mentally untouchable. Another opponent lunges. A kick aimed high, meant to overpower, to force compliance. Bruce pivots, uses minimal movement, and redirects the energy. The attacker stumbles, momentum wasted, strength neutralized. The crowd whispers, stunned. They begin to understand that this is no ordinary fight. Bruce isn't just strong. He's precise, strategic, and terrifyingly effective. Functional strength is not loud, but it hits harder than raw muscle because it uses the opponent's power against them. Human explanation/narration. Here's the mind-blowing part. Most people believe strength is just physical. Bigger fists, heavier biceps, raw aggression. But real power, the kind Bruce has, is a combination of body, mind, and instinct. Muscle alone is predictable. Functional strength? It's unpredictable. It adapts. It outsmarts. And that's why Bruce can face giants and still dominate the fight. The tension rises with every move. Bruce doesn't attack unnecessarily. Every strike, every step, every dodge is calculated. He's mentally trapping the giants, forcing them into mistakes, making them react instead of act. They grow frustrated, sloppy, impulsive. The audience feels it too, the anxiety, the awe, the disbelief. You can almost sense your own pulse quicken as you watch. Audience question/engagement. Imagine being in Bruce's shoes. You're smaller, underestimated, facing opponents bigger than you. What would you do? Would you charge with force or stay calm and rely on technique? Comment below before you see what happens next. You won't believe the outcome. By the end of this part, the Giants' confidence is shaken. They realize something terrifying. Size alone isn't enough. Bruce Lee has mentally and physically trapped them. The fight is no longer just about strength. It's about intelligence, control, and functional power. And the best part? The audience, your eyes, your heart. They're trapped too, drawn and emotionally wondering, how does he do it? How can a smaller man control giants with such ease? Every punch thrown by the big men, every lunge, every attempt to intimidate only proves Bruce's point. Functional strength isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, and strategic. And by the time the crowd fully grasps it, you realize the lesson here isn't just for fighters. It's for anyone facing a challenge bigger than themselves. Calm, controlled, precise action always outperforms raw, chaotic force. The room, or street, or arena, is buzzing with disbelief. The giants, once brimming with confidence, now hesitate, their aggression faltering. Their fists, once cocked and ready, lower slightly as they exchange nervous glances. And the crowd? They are frozen in awe, caught between fear and fascination. Phones rise instinctively to capture the moment, not knowing if what they are witnessing is strength or sheer brilliance. No one had expected this. The hulking fighters, with muscles like steel ropes and confidence like a wall, had seemed invincible. And yet here stands Bruce Lee, a smaller, leaner man, his movements calm, precise, almost effortless. Each dodge, each subtle step, each redirection of energy has shaken their confidence. And with every controlled motion, the audience's minds are being trapped in disbelief. Human explanation/narration. Look at them. Look at the faces in the crowd. Eyes wide, mouths slightly open. They came here expecting chaos, fists, and brute force. Instead, they are witnessing something entirely different: intelligence, efficiency, and mastery. Bruce Lee isn't just fighting the giants in front of him. He's fighting everyone's assumptions about strength. The giants attempt to recover. One tries to flex, trying to regain authority, to reassert dominance. But it's too late. Bruce moves like water, fluid, adaptive, precise. Their raw muscle cannot predict him. Their size cannot intimidate him. The psychological trap has been set, and they are ensnared. Every punch they throw is subtly deflected. Every step they take is anticipated. And the crowd? They're leaning in closer, heartbeats accelerating, mentally immersed in the drama. Audience question/engagement. Have you ever underestimated someone because of their size or appearance, only to be proven wrong? Share your story in the comments. I want to hear it. There's a moment of silence as Bruce stands ready. Not attacking, not rushing, simply observing, perfectly balanced, energy poised like a coiled spring. The giants are tense, confused, frustrated, and the crowd is completely captivated. They can feel the tension, almost taste it. It's more than a fight. It's a mental chess match. You can almost sense the awe growing. People start whispering, trying to understand what they're seeing. How is he doing that? How can someone smaller control giants like that? Every observer, whether close or watching through a phone camera, is mentally trapped. The lesson is clear. Raw muscle alone cannot dominate functional strength. Control, precision, intelligence, and efficiency beat brute force every time. Bruce Lee doesn't gloat. He doesn't provoke. He lets the scene unfold, letting the tension speak for itself. The crowd doesn't just see him, they feel him. Every movement is a statement. Mastery of the body, yes, but even more, mastery of the mind. And in this moment, the giants realize they are not facing just a fighter. They're facing a human who has redefined what strength means. Audience question/engagement. What do you think is stronger, pure muscle or skill combined with intelligence? Comment your opinion below. By the end of this part, awe dominates over fear. The audience, both present and online, begins to understand what functional strength truly is. Muscle impresses. Skill commands respect. And Bruce Lee? He has just made that crystal clear. The giants had thought strength was theirs by default. Their confidence, once unshakable, now wavered under the calm storm that is Bruce Lee. Every attempt at aggression, punch, kick, feint, was met not with brute retaliation, but with calculated precision. Bruce moved like lightning disguised in stillness, flowing effortlessly from one defensive maneuver to the next. Human explanation/narration. This is the moment you realize the difference between raw power and functional strength. Muscle can intimidate. Strength can push, shove, and overpower. But functional strength? It doesn't fight noise with noise. It controls it, redirects it, and transforms it into something far more effective. Bruce Lee doesn't just hit. He doesn't just block. Every movement is optimized, every strike economical. Nothing wasted, everything intentional. A punch comes flying, a full, powerful swing from the biggest fighter in the room. The crowd braces, expecting chaos. But Bruce doesn't panic. He steps just slightly to the side, letting the force pass harmlessly, then counters with a flick of his hand, redirecting momentum. The giant stumbles, unbalanced, and the audience gasps. This isn't brute force, it's mastery. The sheer muscle of the opponent is rendered useless against skill, timing, and intelligence. Another opponent tries to overwhelm him with a flurry of attacks. Bruce doesn't match them in speed or force. Instead, he reads, anticipates, and neutralizes each move with controlled strikes and precise footwork. His movements are poetry in motion, fluid, balanced, yet deadly. The room is silent, every eye locked on him, every heart pounding in unison. Audience question/engagement. Which do you think is stronger, raw power or controlled, precise skill? Comment your opinion. I want to see what you think. The Giants attempt to regroup, trying to intimidate him again. But by now, their confidence is fractured. Muscle alone cannot compensate for strategy. Every attempt they make to assert dominance is subtly redirected. Bruce's calm authority and perfect technique mentally trap them. They react rather than act, forced into mistakes by his composure. Human explanation/narration. Notice the lesson here. Functional strength isn't loud. It doesn't boast. It doesn't waste energy on ego. It's intelligence in motion, power used wisely, and control that turns even a smaller body into a force giants cannot predict or resist. Muscle can impress the eyes. Functional strength commands respect, mentally, emotionally, and physically. By the end of this part, the Giants are shaken. They are no longer the center of attention. The awe has shifted entirely to Bruce. The crowd feels it too. The mental trap is complete. You're not just watching a fight. You're witnessing a demonstration of skill, intelligence, and the essence of true strength. Audience question/engagement. Have you ever seen someone smaller dominate someone bigger through skill alone? Share your story in the comments. Bruce Lee's movements have spoken louder than any muscle could. The lesson is clear. Functional strength doesn't just beat raw muscle. It outsmarts it every time. And everyone watching, including you, is now fully immersed in the lesson. The fight had reached its natural conclusion. The Giants, once brimming with confidence, now stood frozen, stunned, and humbled. Bruce Lee, calm and composed as ever, remained centered, muscles relaxed, breathing steady. He had demonstrated something far greater than mere physical power. He had revealed the true essence of functional strength. Human explanation/narration. This is the moment most people never forget. It's not about who can hit the hardest or who looks the strongest. Muscle impresses the eyes, but functional strength commands respect. It's precision, timing, control, and intelligence combined seamlessly. Bruce Lee doesn't just fight bodies. He demonstrates a mastery of both mind and movement. The crowd, initially shocked and tense, now erupts in awe and admiration. People rise from their seats, phones capturing every movement. They can't believe what they've witnessed. Every punch avoided, every counter perfectly executed, and every opponent subtly neutralized is a lesson that goes far beyond the ring. Functional strength is not about chaos or force. It's about strategy, awareness, and composure under pressure. Bruce doesn't boast. He doesn't celebrate in triumph. Instead, he uses the moment to convey a deeper lesson. He looks around, meeting the eyes of every observer with humility. The Giants, embarrassed but enlightened, begin to understand that size and aggression alone cannot dictate victory. Bruce has quietly, calmly, and definitively proven that skill, control, and intelligence outweigh raw power. Audience question/engagement. Have you ever faced a challenge that seemed bigger than you, but you overcame it using strategy instead of force? Type yes in the comments and share your story. This lesson extends beyond martial arts. Life constantly throws challenges that appear larger, stronger, or more intimidating than we are. Yet the principle remains the same. Control your mind, refine your technique, and act with precision. Strength isn't measured by aggression. It's measured by effectiveness. The calm, disciplined approach often wins where raw power fails. The giants, once aggressive and intimidating, now reflect on their actions. They realize that in a world obsessed with appearances and size, true strength is often quiet, humble, and intelligent. The crowd absorbs this wisdom too. They understand that witnessing Bruce Lee isn't just witnessing a fight. It's witnessing a masterclass in life, strategy, and composure under pressure. Human explanation/narration. Every movement Bruce makes teaches something invaluable: patience, awareness, efficiency, and respect. Functional strength doesn't just win fights, it transforms perspectives. It shows that mastery of self is more powerful than dominance over others. The audience is left inspired, mentally trapped in reflection. They've not just watched a battle. They've felt the power of composure, intelligence, and skill triumphing over raw, chaotic force. Bruce Lee has left an indelible impression, one that goes far beyond martial arts, echoing a universal truth about how we face challenges in life. Audience question/engagement. If you admire someone who wins with skill and calm rather than brute force, type inspired in the comments. Who in your life has taught you a lesson like this? By the end of this part, the lesson is clear. Functional strength is more than a physical attribute. It's a philosophy, a mindset, and a path to mastery. Bruce Lee doesn't just show power. He changes the way we think about it, leaving everyone present and everyone watching with a new understanding of what true strength really means. The arena, or street, or training hall was silent for a moment, as if the entire world were holding its breath. Then the reality hit. Bruce Lee had done more than win a fight. He had redefined what strength truly means. The giants, once proud and intimidating, were humbled. The crowd, initially skeptical, now erupted into awe and admiration. Phones lifted to record, whispers turning into shouts. How did he do that? Human explanation/narration. Look closely. This isn't just a story about martial arts. It's a story about intelligence, composure, and control. Muscle can intimidate, and raw strength can overpower, but functional strength? It leaves a lasting impact. It teaches, inspires, and changes the way people think. Bruce Lee showed the world that true power comes from mastery of body and mind. The footage, captured by onlookers, spread like wildfire. Clips of Bruce's precise movements, effortless dodges, and perfectly executed counters went viral across social media. Millions watched in amazement. Comments poured in from people all over the globe. Athletes, martial artists, and everyday viewers alike, all inspired by the display. Conversations ignited about strength, control, and the value of intelligence over brute force. Audience question/engagement. Have you ever witnessed someone smaller, calmer, or seemingly weaker outperform someone bigger or stronger through skill alone? Type yes in the comments if you have. The lesson went beyond the fight itself. Bruce's demonstration was a reminder that challenges in life, like challenges in combat, are often larger and more intimidating than they first appear. But with focus, precision, and calm strategy, even the most daunting obstacles can be overcome. Muscle may impress the eye, but skill commands respect. Confidence without intelligence can crumble, while controlled, functional mastery stands unshakable. Human explanation/narration. The message is clear. Functional strength isn't just about fighting. It's about life. Every challenge, every obstacle, every seemingly impossible situation can be met with intelligence, control, and precision. And that's the power Bruce Lee has shown millions of people. The power to overcome, the power to inspire, and the power to change perspective. Even after the event, the impact continued. Fans shared lessons from Bruce's movements, applying them in sports, martial arts, and everyday life. Online discussions highlighted humility, respect, and efficiency over raw aggression. Bruce didn't just win a fight. He sparked a movement, proving that true strength is measured not by size, but by skill, control, and composure. Final call to action. If you believe that functional strength, skill, intelligence, and composure is stronger than raw muscle, type strong in the comments. Share this story with someone who needs to see it, and subscribe for more inspiring tales that challenge the way we think about strength and mastery. By the end, viewers aren't just entertained. They're mentally and emotionally transformed, inspired to see strength in a new light. Bruce Lee has left an indelible mark, a lesson for everyone. Mastery, not muscle, is the true measure of power.